Hello and welcome to Bradio's software development channel. My name is Brad and today we're going to be talking about moving over your cloud storage to a more decentralized and private platform. So there's been a lot of stuff in the news recently about people and apps being deplatformed, and it's really concerned me because even though I'm probably not going to be at risk, there's always that opportunity that if I do make a video and I say the wrong thing, then I'll just get deplatformed. So what I want to do is be in control of my own data. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my screen and we're just going to talk about the platform itself. So this website's really cool. It's called privacytools.io, and it basically lists loads of different alternatives for everything. So if we go to operating systems, it lists open source operating systems that you can use, such as like Tails and Unix, which I've used both of them. But the main thing we're going to be looking at is the cloud storage tools in cloud storage, and the only one they have listed is Nextcloud. So if we go to Nextcloud and check out their website, they have all the same things that Google Drive has, such as like calendars, documents, photos, videos, everything. And the best part about all of this is that you own everything and you set it up yourself, and you can store your data anywhere you want on any server in the world. Now, me personally, I use a Synology server, and I'm going to be using my own cloud services on that. I might go one step further and actually build my own server and install this on it. But for now, I'm using the Synology platform-based cloud server. So, and that's only because I have more data than what DigitalOcean allow at a reasonable price. So let's go on to talk about the prices. So if we come here and we click Docker, because we're going to be installing the Nextcloud image through Docker, and if we scroll down here, we can see the price ranges. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, and it increments in fives until we get to this point. But the only downside about these servers, now we don't really care about the memory and the CPU usage because it's just a cloud server, but we do care about storage space and transfer. So if we look at 25 gigabytes SSD for the $5, 50 for the 10, 60 for the 15, and 80 for the 20. Now, if you click up here with storage optimized, it gives you ridiculous prices and you don't even get that much space. So it says storage optimized, but what they're talking about isn't the amount of storage. They're talking about the speed of the storage. Because if you see here, we have disk options. So you can actually select 1.5x, and it's all NVMe RAM, NVMe SSD, and we don't need that. So if we go back to shared CPU basic, now we need to basically weigh up how much space you might need and what transfer speed you might need, so how often you use the cloud storage per month. Now this is completely up to you. Obviously the more transfer rates you get and the more storage you get, it's going to cost you more, but for the purposes of this video we're just going to use the $5 a month one. And then if you scroll down, you can actually add block storage. So adding block storage is normally cheaper than choosing the server type up here, because all you're doing is just adding storage as an add-on onto your initial server. So for the purposes of this video, we're just going to put the $10 a month one, but some people might want to do 25, 50, 100. Now the prices for this compared to Google Drive is quite expensive, because Google Drive charge £8 for 2 terabytes. And you get unlimited transfer with that as well. Now you have to weigh up what you're actually aiming for with this. So you're not if you're choosing this option, you're probably not concerned about price. You're more concerned about owning your own data. So the price you're paying is so that you can get that. There might be cheaper alternatives out there, but I think they're a lot more difficult to use. And I think DigitalOcean are very easy to install Docker and to install images and to set up firewalls and everything else. So that's why we're using DigitalOcean. So you may want to use a different platform, but that's completely up to you. So if we scroll down and we select London, and then scroll down a bit further. Now I'm going to use a password because I'm lazy, and because the SSH key I've got here is set up for my MacBook Pro, which isn't this computer I'm using, it's my other Apple computer I've got. So I'm just going to put in a password, which isn't very strong, but I don't care because I'm going to delete it in a minute anyway. And then down here, we're going to change the host name to Nextcloud. Oh. And then we're just going to type Nextcloud here, just so we can find it. And we're also going to enable backups. Now the backups cost $1 a month per droplet, and it's 20% of the droplet price. So I think we should have backups because we're storing all of our personal data on a server, and it's not Google Drive, so your backups aren't handled by a third-party service, they're going to be handled by you. So even though DigitalOcean are charging you for the backups, they're still your responsibility to make sure that you've selected this option and you can back up everything. And then click Create Droplet. So this is the new one. So as you can see at the top, 1 GB memory, 25 GB disk space with 100 GB block storage. And we've also got Docker installed on this as well. So wait for this to finish. So because we're not using SSH, I've never actually used password before, so we can't actually, can't remember how to log in. So what I've opened is the Launch Recovery console from the Access tab over here. So if we type in our login, which is root, and then the password that you set up, there we go, we're inside. So now we should be able to do Docker PS to list all of our Docker images. So we haven't got any, which is good. And if we come over to this page here, so I've already gone ahead and found a Docker Hub link. It's the official Nextcloud Docker image, and we have over 500 million downloads, which is cool. We'll scroll to the top, copy that command, and then download it onto our server. So while that's going ahead, we'll come over here and we'll scroll down. And then if you see here, it says using the Apache image. So we want to copy that text, wait for this to finish. Okay, so we've now downloaded our image, so we're now ready to actually try and run our Docker command. Okay, so we do Docker PS. And as you can see, we now have our Nextcloud server up. So now I'm hoping if we scroll back to our DigitalOcean page and copy the IP address, we should be able to just paste it into there. You just have to make sure you have the 8080 port selected up here. Now you can change that, obviously with the Docker PS, the Docker run command, you can change that port number if you wish and set up the UFW configuration. But in this case, we don't need to. So on first opening this, make sure you get in here quick, because if somebody manages to get hold of your IP address, they'll be able to change everything. So if we just create an admin account, so we'll call it Brad, and we'll put in the same password as we did. I don't recommend you do this, but just for the purposes of this website, this demo. And then storage and database, we'll keep all that the same at the minute. And then install recommended apps, yes. And we'll just wait for this to finish. Okay, and as you can see, everything's now finished, and we can skip through all of this because we don't want to read this. Well, I don't want to read it anyway. And start using Nextcloud. So there we go. This is the web UI. It's very simple. We'll go to our files. Okay, and then as you can see here, we've got some temporary or demo documents already set up. And then we can select that PDF file. Okay, now the one thing I have noticed since using this is it's very, very slow. So I tried to go into a folder on files, and then I tried to actually download a PDF that's one of the demo files, and it still hasn't loaded and it's taken forever. So what you can do is if you come over to your DigitalOcean droplet and you select resize on the left hand side, you can change the options down here to give yourself more of a boost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select CPU and RAM only, and I'm going to select the 2 GB memory to see if it'll give us a bit more of a boost. And we also need to turn off our droplet, so we click up here and just turn it off. And now we should have the option available to us to resize, so go ahead and click that. So it does say that it might take up to a minute per gigabyte of data used by your droplet, we haven't actually installed anything on the server yet, so it shouldn't take too long. Okay, so as you can see by the loading indicator at the top, it looks like it's done its thing. It's been resized and we can turn it back on. Now the session that we had open earlier would have now died, so we need to close that window and we need to come over to the left and click Access and click Launch Recovery Console again, and we're going to have to re-log in. Type in our username and password, and if we type in Docker PS here, it will say that we haven't got anything running. Okay, so something else I've noticed, which I didn't actually know, but we can't actually use this command, because what happens is every time that we restart the server, whether it crashes or restart it on our own accord, we're actually losing the data every single time, which I've just noticed. If you come to the documents here, we've actually got this command here, which will give us persistent data, but if you notice the port number isn't on there. So if we come back to our terminal and we paste what we have, and then we go along to where the -D is, bear in mind you can't put it at the end for some reason, you have to put it before the Nextcloud part at the end. So we do -P and do 8080 :80 and press enter, and now it should run our Nextcloud instance on port 8080. So we come here and refresh the page, there we go, and it does seem to be a little bit faster as well. So now what we've done is we've installed Nextcloud, we've given it persistent data, so it should persist between restarts, which we'll check in a minute. So let's do this now. So let's select the same password as we had before, and we won't install the recommended apps because it takes ages. And there we go. So one way to prove that this is actually working and we can persist the data between restarts is to actually just restart the server and see what happens. So if we go over to our DigitalOcean Droplet admin page and we turn it off, and then we turn it on again. Now remember, we haven't done the auto restart script yet, so we will have to go into our console access by clicking Launch Recovery Console. Type in our username and password. So that'll be root and our password that we had earlier. And type in Docker PS to make sure there's nothing running. And now go back to here, copy this, and remember to change the port as well. Now if we come over here and refresh, it may ask us to log in again, but that's fine. So, and there we go, there we go, it's all running. So if we do a summary of what we've done today, we've taken a look at privacy tools, we've decided on Nextcloud, and we've managed to install it to a DigitalOcean server. And then ad hoc, we managed to upgrade the server to 2 gig of memory instead of 1 gig, because we realized that 1 gigabyte wasn't fast enough. And we've also managed to make persistent data on the cloud, so that we can we don't have to keep setting it up every time we log in, and then all of our files are now persisted across sessions. So that's really great. I think we've made a lot of progress today. There's still a bit more work we could do on it, but this video is overrun massively because a lot of things went wrong. But hopefully in the next video, which I'll be releasing tomorrow, we can look at the Docker restart script, and we can increase security by adding SSL, which we don't currently have. And we can also install the local versions of Nextcloud so that we can try uploading files from one computer and then downloading them to another one, and then maybe even testing it with mobile devices as well. So we'll cover that in the second video. But thanks for watching. Sorry if it was too fast paced, but that is the beauty of YouTube videos. You can pause, rewind, slow it down, or speed it up, and you can also enable captions if you can't understand what I'm saying, because I didn't learn English very well apparently, because my speech is impaired sometimes. So and I do speak quite fast because I'm a fast speaker, and I used to stutter when I was younger, so I used to trip over my words, and I've actually slowed down a lot now. So but thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Share the video if you find it useful. That would really help me out if you share it. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video for part 2. See you later.